What is going on, you bucking stallions and you fine-ass stallionettes? AK-40 Kevin here in the gamer heaven. You know what I got on my lunch break today? No, besides the haircut. Thank you for noticing, though. My PS5 disc version, finally. Today we're going to be unboxing and going through the initial setup of a PlayStation 5 disc version. There is timestamps down there in the video below, so if you want to skip the foreplay and get right down to the nitty-gritty squeeze a titty, you can do that, or if you want to change position, so to speak, and just get to a specific part of the video, the timeline bar will satisfy you in that aspect. Without further ado, let's take a whiff of Sony's Flagship. Alrighty guys, over here at the Stormtrooper desktop, this bad boy is absolutely massive, and so is this day. I've been looking forward to this for quite some time. It was almost 3 months ago, sitting right here at this desk, that we unboxed the Xbox Series S. The new pre-built with the 3080 in it will be here any day now. We hit that huge delay with that bad boy getting stuck in El Paso, Texas due to the cold fronts and whatnot. And I probably could have got a PS5 a little bit earlier. They still are incredibly sought after and very difficult to find, and I refuse to get on my knees and suck off a scalper, metaphorically of course, or physically for that matter. But to be 110% honest, I got kind of disheartened about a month and a half ago trying to get the PS5. There were so many drops that I had been sitting there F5 refreshing on Walmart. I ran into the oh dear page several times. I got all the way to checkout with it in my cart multiple times and had the website crash on me. I actually completed an order from Target just to get an email 12 hours later telling me that my order could not be filled. And there were several PS5 direct drops that I got in queue, but unfortunately, since that is randomized, it doesn't matter if you were the first person in line, you get a randomized ticket, and my ticket was not pulled that day. But I basically stumbled upon this accidentally. My buddy and I were going to lunch about a week and a half ago, stumbled into the Navy Exchange and whatnot. You know, I'm not going to tell the whole story here, but basically they had just started a pre-order sheet and we put $100 down a pop. Basically got our names on the list. I was number 1, he was number 3 on the list, and I got my call today saying, hey, your PS5 is ready for pickup. This almost doesn't feel real. This thing is like a great white unicorn with a big fat juicy horn that everyone's trying to grab and jerk, and you just can't grab it. You know, it's like a shiny Pokemon. You see it off in the distance or even flying if it's an aerial version, and you just can't get it. And you know, just the fact that this bad boy is sitting here staring me in the brown eye is just absolutely insane. So let's go ahead and peel this bad girl like a banana real quick and see if we can make a split. Oh, you're a big girl, and I like that. Oh my goodness. Call me a bicycle tire because I am pumped right now. Horrible, horrible metaphor, and I don't really care. All right, so let's get the accessories out of here. This was a bundle, so it came with an extra controller. So now I'll have 3 technically because I custom built this one. Fully disassembled and customized this bad boy on the channel, and I have just been using this as a PC controller, as the DualSense 5 controller does work on PC, and well, I haven't had a PS5 up until now. So I've experienced the ergonomics of this, however, I have not had a chance to get the experience of the haptic feedback motors, the adaptive triggers, the built-in microphone, and some of the other PlayStation-specific features. So now, technically, I have 3 DualSense controllers. I'll probably end up customizing both of them, or at least one of them. You guys know I leave nothing stock. We'll set this aside for now. I will mention a couple of key points about the DualSense, but I will have linked in the description below my comprehensive review of that bad boy. I was able to pick a game with this bundle. Now, they did have a good selection there, but for me, it was either going to be between Sackboy or Spider-Man Miles Morales, and the reason for that would be that if it's a game that I can play on my Xbox Series or on my PC, I don't want it. I want a very proprietary Sony exclusive, and these are kind of all that's out right now. I know there's Dark Souls and other stuff like that, but this is pretty cool. It also does come with Spider-Man Remastered, which is cool because I do want to play that on the PS5, as I never actually played Spider-Man on the PS4, so that'll be cool. This is kind of 2 games in one, and it was included with the bundle. Now on board, you also do have Astro's Playroom built into the PS5, which showcases some of the awesome new features of the DualSense 5 controller. And this bundle also did come with an extended, I believe, 2 or 3 year warranty on top of what Sony already offers. This is through the Navy Exchange. So spoiler alert, I have already played PlayStation 5 at a friend's house. Also, I have seen them several times in stores on display, so I know exactly what they look like. They're absolutely freaking massive. But we're going to go in depth with some of the more niche Easter eggs on there. Like the actual texturing on the controllers and the actual case itself is the face buttons of a PlayStation. So cross, square, circle, triangle. Now it does say 8K up here. Now 8K most likely will not be seen till the end of the life cycle, and probably not even for gaming. It'll most likely be just streaming content. So this is kind of future-proof as in that aspect, that if you're using this as a set-top box for streaming, you know, Netflix, YouTube, any kind of media like that, it will go up to 8K. However, you're not going to see 8K 120. You're probably going to see closer to 8K 30. Some titles are 4K 120, and HDR is supported, which is good because we, of course, have a 4K 120 HDR TV in the front room. She's a big girl, 75 inches, so that will look so good. And I'm not flexing when I say any of this stuff. I work my ass off for the stuff that I have in this room. All right, so on top of the box itself, you do have a handle, as it is a relatively heavy bad boy here. We're gonna need a blade to get into this. All right, the unboxing knife we're using today is the Wartech USA. Not a bad little piece. I haven't used this thing in a while. Make sure you cut towards your fingers and towards your face. Safety first, boys. So the hard drive on board is an 825 gig, however you get 667 gigabytes of usable storage, as the rest is allocated for, of course, the operating system. So a box in a box, inception. Okay, I think there's another box inside of here as well. Oh no, this is our accessory box. Yeah, we're gonna want that. All right, boys, so in the box over here, you have your accessories. You have your one included DualSense 5 controller, so now keep in mind we will have a total of 3, like I mentioned earlier. Really awesome controller, very good ergonomic shape. This is actually more ergonomically correct than an Xbox One controller, at least for average North American hands. I do like how spaced out the face buttons are. I also do like the whited out look. I'm not a huge fan of the black down here. I wish they would have either gone all black, all white, or all gray instead of kind of trying to mix. You do have the adaptive triggers, haptic feedback, a built-in speaker and microphone, as well as a 3.5mm headphone jack, and it is USB-C. You have your actual power plug for the back of the console. You've gone to the days of some big old fat brick, some power brick. All right, and here you have your USB-C cable for charging the controller. It's not braided or anything like that. It's not very pretty. This is just a little parts bin special, but it is rather long, I would say. That's what she said. No, that's about a 4 or 5 footer. I mean, it's shorter than my wingspan, so it's not that long. So you're not going to be plugging in and playing on your couch or anything. You're probably going to want to have a second controller you can have charging while you're playing with the other one. And keep in mind, these controllers do retail for $70 US. Out the door, you're looking at about $73 with tax. You have your quick start guide over here. Lots of blue branding in there, of course, as that is Sony's signature color. It also shows you how to mount the stand, mount the stand, which we are going to do. I advise everyone that owns a PlayStation 5 does this. Even if you are not going to have it on its side, if you're going to have it vertically upright, you do actually get a little bit better cooling on the bottom of the console by using the stand. It's awesome, awesome. What's on the home screen? This is a really good instruction manual. Very informative, good font, English is the primary language, full color pictures. This is the kind of instruction manual I like to see, especially with a $500 console. Alright, you also have a safety guide here telling you not to use your DualSense 5 controller as a frisbee, not to gut the GPU out of the APU out of your console and start crypto mining with it, and a bunch of things you shouldn't do, such as trying to tap dance on the side of your new console. Now you do have the stand over here, which like I said, we are going to be mounting. This does actually screw into the side of the console. Now I see a lot of people just set the console in there because it's got this little rubberized feet and they think, oh yeah, it's mounted. It's actually, as you can see, has a screw hole here, so whether you're putting it on its side or vertically, you are to be using this screw here to actually attach this, firmly attach it to the console itself. And then you have a high-speed HDMI 2.1. You want to use the HDMI cable that comes with the console or another HDMI 2.1. If you have some old HDMI 2.0 sitting around your house, you will not get 120 hertz 4K or 8K 60. You will not get any 8K and you will not get 4K 120. So now if you happen to lose this or something, I will have linked in the description below an HDMI 2.1 cable that is relatively inexpensive that you can get as a replacement. All right, boys, the pièce de résistance, the actual console itself. You have a PlayStation logo right here, as this is a PlayStation inside the box. Now, you have two egg cartons on each side. We're gonna go ahead and turn it on its side and gently slide her. There we go. You can fuck off. All right, cool. Oh my God, I'm holding a PlayStation 5 right now. I need to take just a minute. All right, we can move on. I haven't been this excited to unbox or unwrap something in such a long time. This being so sought after and so hard to get. I mean, oh, God. Oh, mama. Oh, baby. Oh, let's keep the fingerprints off that piano black. That gloss piano black. I feel like I'm peeling her out of her skirt right now, boys. Oh, my God. I'm about to get the money. Oh, fuck. Let me just make sure this thing's in focus real quick. We need to get some B-roll and some glamour shot. And you know, I just unboxed this. There's already like dust and stuff just from the, you know, the shipping of it and whatnot. Where's my little microfiber wipe? We're going to go ahead and wipe her down. She's a dirty girl. She's been ridden hard and put away pretty wet. Oh, man. Let's clean her off for some... Let's clean her up for some B-roll real quick, boys. Oh, this thing is a fingerprint and scratch magnet, too. There's already some very fine spiderweb scratches in there. Now, granted, you'll never see that from a distance, but me being right up on it with a halo ring light, it definitely... There is some spiderweb scratching in here, which is unfortunate. This thing's obviously brand new, not refurbished or used, but... you know, that's unfortunate. I'm not a huge fan of this piano black mid-stripe. However, probably in a couple of days, we're going to be completely popping off the side panels. We're going to be vinyl wrapping this front section and then hydro dipping or painting the side plates because I'm not a huge fan of the white and black. It is a gorgeous console. I'm not going to lie. I think it's a lot better looking than the Series S or X. So it has a very unique and intriguing shape. It's kind of narrow at the top and then gets wider around the base. That's exactly what she said. You have two USB 3.0 ports. You have an Ethernet connection here. You have your HDMI 2.1 port. You have your power. You can't even see. You have your power port right here. You have some venting down the back for cooling, obviously. More venting on the top, more cooling. And that's not a good sound. When you turn the console on, there is going to be a blue ambient light that illuminates down the down this trim here. This PlayStation logo is actually cut out, which is really, really cool. It's kind of that 3D etched look in there. On the front, you have another USB 3.0. You also have a USB-C plug over here. And then you have your power and your eject buttons right here. And then, of course, being the disc version, you do have your optical drive right here. This texturing right here, oh yeah, 4K camera, baby. Gets the job done. Let me see if I can hold my shaky ass Michael J. Fox hands here. All of that texturing that you see in there is actually little tiny PlayStation face buttons. So cross, circle, triangle, square. that is also on the controllers as well. Now keep in mind that's not on the outside, just on the inside. The very first thing it says in the instruction manual is that always use the base on the console, whether it's in its vertical or horizontal position. And so many PS5 owners throw it in their entertainment center in their cabinet without putting it on the mount. Now, you're not going to cause any major damage like that, but you are going to maximize the airflow on the bottom of the console by putting it on the mount. The only logical reason I can see for not using the mount is if this extra 3/4 inches up off the ground is actually going to cause you to have clearance issues getting inside your entertainment center or cabinet, which makes sense because this thing is already huge. That would make sense. However, I would still try and find a different place for it, maybe put it on its side. So this thing rotates like that. That's going to reveal the screw that you need in there, which you just pull out like that. Come here, baby. And there is rubberized feet on the bottom, so it's not going to be slip sliding or anything like that. And, oh, don't even tell me, girl. Oh, why not? Look at that attention to detail. There's even the cross buttons right here on the base itself. Pretty hard to see, but those are the actual PlayStation face buttons as well. So if you're going to be doing it in its vertical position, which I am, you are going to be moving this little back strap or holster, if you will, to the back. If you are going to put it horizontally on its side, you are going to move this to the side like this, and then you are going to have it with the disc side down. It does give you pretty in-depth picture instructions as to how to do that, but I'm going to be mounting it vertically right next to my PlayStation 1 Mini, and then this will basically just push down as you drop the console in. And there's a little port at the bottom right here that you need to pop out, and that's where you're going to put your screw in. It's just a little plug like that you get your fingernail up underneath there, and that reveals that threaded section right there, which is where you're actually going to mount this bad boy. So this is going to be kind of difficult to do. I'm actually going to have to flip the console upside down, pinch it between my legs, and then screw this screw in, which is a flathead. Yeah, ooh, those nails are sharp. Yeah. Say hi to YouTube. Your nails are sharp, holy shit. Say hi to YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. All right, so the audio quality might not be as good now. This is just the onboard microphone in the iPhone XR. I disconnected from my microphone. So I do have a white cable wrap back there holding both of the cables coming out of the PlayStation, as well as the 3 cables coming out of the back of the Wii. I have another cable wrap over there for the Xbox Series S. Proprietary wireless Xbox Series headphone there. Wireless PlayStation 4 and 5 headphones right there. Xbox controllers over there. There's a toilet right there. I forgot to close my bathroom door. So if you need to poop, you guys just go over there, take a quick break. I got Xbox controllers over there. There's about to be 5 wall-mounted PS4 and 5 controllers right there. Got my custom Wiimotes right there. All right, that lamp is Bluetooth controlled by my phone. Since this is a PlayStation video, it's blue. If this was like a Xbox, if this was an Xbox accessory review, that would probably be lime green. If this was a Nintendo video, that would probably be red. Just calling it now. There is LED lights on the back of this TV. This is a 75-inch 4K, 120 hertz LG individually backlit smart TV. That is a mouthful. That is definitely what she did not say. I've never heard that before. Just a really good looking entertainment center, if I do say so myself. Obviously, I'm a little bit biased and whatnot, but when the lights are completely off, which I'm gonna cut everything off, I mean, you get the PlayStation side over here. I'm probably going to get some very subtle red lighting in the middle for a Wii, and then probably a Switch underneath it as well. That'll be like the Nintendo Center, Xbox, PlayStation. That's what I see with the lights off. I think that looks absolutely freaking awesome. The blue light, the iconic Sony blue kind of cascading on the PlayStation. Same thing with the lime green over there with the Xbox 360 and Series S. You got the mini PS1 over there. There is surround sound speakers up there. They are not currently hooked up. I'm just using the sound bar or headphones. But it is a very high quality Samsung soundbar, 2.1. There's the subwoofer for it right there. Thing really puts a molly-whopping on your tuchus. And all these things are linked in the description below. So the mounts for those controllers, that smart LED bulb there, the surround sound that I have, the sound bar, the PlayStation sign, the glowing cube, the vinyl wrap for the Wii, those headphones, basically anything that you see here in this picture, including the TV itself, is going to be linked down there in the description below. So if you see something that really tickles your fancy down there. All right, so hooked back up with my condenser microphone over here. So I did used to have a PS4 right there. That is now in my bedroom, as I didn't really have anything that had a disc drive. So if I want to watch a DVD or Blu-ray in bed, I can do that. Not to mention, sometimes I just want to play some games in bed until I pass out. So I now do have a gaming console in there. There's also an NVIDIA Shield in the guest room, and then obviously my gaming PC and retro consoles in the gamer heaven, which is the, you know, office slash YouTube studio in there. So basically this entire house is decked out in full gamer fashion. And don't you think about breaking in, because I do have an attack dog. I do have an attack dog, a couple pea shooters, and a decent alarm system. I also have machine gun turrets that drop out of the ceiling and go for kneecaps, so don't even try it. Don't even try it. All right, enough jaw jacking and lip smacking. Let's go for that initial PS5 startup, shall we, boys? I am super duper excited. Again, like I mentioned, you're gonna get this initial splash screen that you're only gonna get one time, so enjoy it. In fact, I'll probably move you guys closer to the TV. That blue lighting, as you can see, really freaking awesome. We'll get a close-up of that and some B-roll here in a little bit. But you're gonna see this splash screen one time, like I've mentioned. All right, if you're not stimulated, there's something wrong with you. I'm gonna go ahead and plug in my DualSense 5 controller to the front of my PS5. It still feels so weird to say that, my PS5. I've been covering news on this thing since it dropped, and I actually finally have one. And, you know, there are content creators out there, gaming YouTube channels with a much bigger following that still don't have this. I just kind of fell into this, and I could have gone to a scalper, like I said, but I'm not gonna do that. We're gonna go ahead and plug this into the front of the console. Oh, and just a quick disclaimer, I am not using the HDMI cable that was included with this. I am using my own high-speed 2.1 because
connect
the one
your controller to the console with the USB cable and press the PS button.
Anyway, that was rude.
Conecta tu control a la consola con un cable USB y pulsa el botón PS.
Gracias, no comprendo, stop it.
Branchez votre manette de jeu sur la console à l'aide d'un câble USB.
Oui, oui, okay. All right.
Select your language.
We're gonna do this setup in a minute.
United States.
Zip it!
Press the cross button to select and
Zip
the circle
it!
button to go back.
Well, at least she called it the cross button, not the X button. That's good.
Right.
All right, so I am using my own HDMI 2.1 cable because the one that they include is actually pretty short and it would not reach across this 75-inch TV, which the HDMI ports are right here, all the way across and down. So I had to use my own. And if you guys don't have one that is that length, I will put a 6 and a 10-foot cable one in the description below. They are the cheapest price that I've found, and they're also braided, pretty high quality. So we're gonna go ahead and hook up to my Wi-Fi right now. I don't think I need to be plugged into the controller anymore. Nope, okay, cool. We can be untethered, that's good. Would you just look at that PS5 right now, just glowing in there? We're gonna go ahead and connect our Wi-Fi right now. Now you can run Ethernet to this bad boy. It does have a gigabit Ethernet port, which we will be doing testing on this channel. Ethernet versus Wi-Fi IPv4 and IPv6. All right, so one of the first things you guys wanna do is hit the settings on your TV remote. You want to go to your picture mode and make sure that you are in an HDR mode as well as a game mode. So for mine, it says HDR picture mode. And I have all these other options here, filmmaker, blah, 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 vivid. You wanna go into game mode. Granted, all these modes will support 120 hertz, at least on my TV, but game will give you the most fluid experience where you'll have zero screen tearing, ghosting, aliasing, any of that bad stuff that you don't want. Now, we are gonna go through this initial setup as that is part of the video. However, I'm gonna have a separate video. Also uploaded today with the first 5 things that you need to do with your PS5, as there are some steps that you need to do in order to make sure that you are enabling 120 hertz 4K with HDR, and there's a couple of little tweaks that you can do to actually streamline or speed up the PlayStation 5 interface. And there's 3 other tips that I'm gonna save for that video. I'm not even gonna spoil them just yet. The circle should fill the screen without showing black borders. If the circles are cut off or you see black borders, press the up and down buttons to adjust the display area. Well, they do fill up the entire screen and they are not cut off. They perfectly go to the end, so we are good there. Next, it's going to take you through an HDR walkthrough. You are going to press up and down on the D-pad, and that's going to adjust your high dynamic range. Now, again, I put you guys into game mode on your TV. You want to do that first, because if you set this up in your PS5, and then you change your video picture mode inside of your TV, you're going to have to do all this over again. And basically, we're going to get this emblem here barely visible. So we're going to... Now also, you want to be sitting down on your couch in your typical viewing angle, so I'm going to sit in my usual gaming spot. And one more time. Awesome. If you have a game disc, insert it now and we'll install it while you continue with the setup. So we're going to go ahead and pop in Spider-Man Miles Morales just to get that working in the background while we continue the setup process. Alrighty boys, now it's asking you about your power options. Now you have an optimized experience, which is kind of a balance mode. We'll apply the latest updates. Be sure to save your game as it could close during an update. Turns on remotely when connecting using PlayStation app or remote play. That's for the PlayStation Vita if you want a remote onto the screen of your Vita. Charges controllers after entering rest mode, but consumes more power. And then you have custom, which allows you to, sure enough, fine-tune what you want it to do. Electric costs here are pretty cheap, and I also do already crypto mine with my gaming PC, so I'm not too concerned about electrical costs. I already know they're going to be a little bit peaked in my house, but I do pay relatively good rates here in the panhandle of Florida. So I'm going to have it supplying power to the USB for indefinitely, always, so it'll charge my controllers to maximum, as well as headsets or whatever accessories I have plugged in. And if I have an external hard drive or external SSD plugged in, it will constantly be having that powered up. Stay connected to the internet. Yes, I would like it doing updates and downloads. Download game and app updates, you're goddamn correct. Install game and app updates, you freaking know it. We're gonna agree to the PlayStation 5 terms. I mean, you can not do that, but you're not gonna be playing on this thing. Do not skip this. You want to do the system software update, as there have been a ton of bug and glitch patches from the PlayStation 5 user interface. It did launch a little wonky, so you want to make sure that you install the initial update. That is going to get you to the latest firmware. It will install and restart, and you definitely want to do this before using your PS5. It's going to make your experience a whole heck of a lot better. So it's actually going pretty quick. I do have consistent gigabit Ethernet here. With my Ethernet powered PC or Ethernet plugged PC, I get about 960 down, 35 up consistently, no dips or spikes or anything like that. And then on my Series S, which is connected via Wi-Fi, I get about 260 down, 35 up, so I should be getting similar, if not better, on the PlayStation 5, which is good because I do stream directly from these consoles to Twitch using nothing but the Wi-Fi. Bam, that took like a minute. So all the subsequent times you launch your console, you're just gonna get this login screen. You're not gonna get that pretty graphic that played the initial first time booting up. We're just gonna press the PlayStation button. All right, you're also going to update the firmware in your primary and secondary controllers, any of the ones that you are gonna be playing with, so you don't have to mess with that later. You definitely do wanna get up to the latest firmware, considering these controllers do have some new features from previous controllers, i.e. haptic feedback, built-in microphone, and adaptive triggers, and you want to make sure that those are up to date with the software. So in order to update these, you are going to plug them in. Now this also goes pretty quickly, and it doesn't say this here, but I don't really recommend messing around with your controller while it's doing these firmware updates, i.e. messing around with the analog stick, clicking buttons. It can actually, I have seen in previous consoles, it can actually mess up the firmware update, so don't do that. So now you're gonna sign into your PlayStation Network account. You can either type it in manually, or what I'm gonna do, since I do have the PlayStation application on my phone, I'm just gonna scan that QR code and get all signed in. So I will say the PlayStation application is actually a very, very smooth interface. You just go up here to the top right where settings is at, and you're gonna scan that QR code. You might need to enable your internet access first, or you might need to enable your camera access to your phone first. And then these are your privacy settings over here. So if you're trying to keep your console locked down, you don't want to share what game you're playing or what, you know, if you're watching Netflix or whatever, you can shut that down. Or if you're a social butterfly and you like to whip out your caterpillar, so to speak, just select that there. All right, so I would go limited data only. This basically limits the amount of personal information that Sony will share, which they use a lot of it for marketing. So you'll see PlayStation Store ads pop up all over and stuff. I would go limited data only. Now you can forego this step and do later. However, I do strongly recommend that you set up two-step verification, as back in 2011, the PSN was hacked, leaking everyone's credit card information, including mine, unfortunately. Luckily, I had no fraudulent charges ever, but my information was compromised, and that could easily happen again. So text message is okay, but using something like Google Authenticator is actually better. It refreshes a 6-digit code every 60 seconds that you have to have your device in order to do, which granted, text is okay, but it's easier for people to hack into SMS messages than something like an encrypted authenticator app. So please select this, boys. Now, if you're a family man or woman and you have little ones running around that are going to be using your PlayStation 5, you can set up things like content restrictions so they can't access certain games or movies that are a certain rating, whether that's a video game, like I said, or multimedia. You can even set it to block applications like YouTube, so they're forced to use YouTube Kids app. I do not. I mean, I do have a daughter, she's right there, but she doesn't have opposable thumb, so she can't even really grab the controller, so it's not a big deal for me. All right, now it's gonna prompt you to download a couple of applications, and as you see, all of these are checked here. Me personally, I do not have Disney Plus. I do watch The Mandalorian on my jailbroken Kodi. By the way, I do have a tutorial on this channel how to jailbreak a Fire Stick and get Kodi on there. Don't use Hulu. And I'm not really going to use any of these because this TV itself is a smart TV with all these apps built in, and it's actually quicker to navigate with my TV than it is a console. So I'm just gonna go ahead and turn all these off. I don't need any of these applications. Also, keep in mind, you only have 667 gigabytes of usable storage on this. And do you really want to waste that with apps? I mean, granted, if you have 120 hertz 4K TV, it's probably a smart TV as well, and you're probably just able to use your voice to talk to your remote control and launch all these apps on your TV anyway. So yeah, not going to download any of these. Thank you. So now it's asking you if you want to transfer data from your PS4. I do have a PS4 Slim in the bedroom. However, I'm not going to do this as I want to pick and choose what games I want to transfer over because you do have limited storage. And I kind of just want a fresh start on this PS5. So we're going to do this later, as in never. Alrighty guys, over here on my PC, it's been a long day. We unboxed and set up the PS5, but it's not quite over yet. I'm about to upload a video in conjunction with this one with the first 5 things that you absolutely need to do with your PS5 in order to optimize the experience. Spoiler, we kind of knocked out 2 of those in this video. Now, if you made it this far through the video, I just want to thank you for watching, showing your support. When people actually view my videos, for a small channel like mine, that literally means the world. When I get likes, when I get subs, just views, it absolutely means the world, and I will be covering an absolute shit ton. That's the official medical term for it, an absolute metric shit ton of content around the new-gen consoles as well as the PC gaming space. So if that kind of thing interests you guys, I really hope today is the day that I earned your guys' subscription. And I just want to thank you guys for all your support. I mean, getting this PS5 today is absolutely massive, you know, not just for being an average gamer, but also having a gaming YouTube channel. This opens up a whole world of content that I can create. So this has just been a huge W for me. Just been a huge, victorious day. All right, that's going to do it, guys. I hope you have a fantastic night, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.